Hey guys, Matt from GameSoda here. Today we're going to be looking at Dark Souls. Now if you don't know, Dark Souls is a fantasy action-adventure game, and it's also really hard. I mean, every swing of your sword, every bit of magic you cast, every arrow you fire in this game can have severe consequences. And they made it like that for a good reason. This comes from Software, a very niche Japanese developer. And the previous game, Demon Souls, actually turned into a surprisingly big hit. I mean, they say in the making of Dark Souls they were surprised how big a hit it turned into. I guess saying, hey guys, we made this game and it's too hard for you, was a very good marketing strategy. Because, like, even guys I know who aren't into this kind of game, they went, oh, do you bloody think so? And they rushed out and bought it, determined to prove that they could succeed where everyone else failed. And, well, the years of therapy and crying on each other's shoulders at support groups probably speaks for itself. Anyway, we're going to do this video much more like we originally planned. The last one, Rage, was a bit more like a standard review the way it was formatted, and that was because of the footage we had. We had trouble chopping it up because we recorded it wrong and various things. But this time, you'll actually get to see us playing it, and you can see how well we do, how much we suck, and all that. This screen that's been showing while I've been gabbing away, you've probably guessed, is the character creation screen. You can create a male or female character of any race and class. The races and sexes don't make much difference, but the classes will make a huge impact in the beginning of the game, and pretty much throughout most of the game too. But by the time you've upgraded all your stats to max, one class will be identical to another. You can use all the same equipment, all the same spells, and whatever. But that's only after like multiple playthroughs, because each time you upgrade your stats it gets more expensive each time. And, I mean, I loved the first game, but I didn't play the first game long enough with any one character to max out all my stats. I'm sure some of you out there have done it, and good for you. I'd love to try myself, and if I didn't have to review multiple games for a living, I'd certainly give it a try. After you go through the intro, you wake up in this dungeon and some guy drops you a key, and you have to go through this whole long mandatory tutorial section, which lets you fight your first boss. Don't worry, I won't subject you to the whole thing. Here's me taking on a zombie with my broken sword. Another one. And you can look through the bars there. That's the guy you're going to fight before you get out of here. And then you eventually reach your first bonfire, which teaches you the basics of it. Well, the very basics, I mean. There's a lot more you can do, but not at this stage in the game. Then you keep going to get your shield and your weapon back, and which shield and weapon you get depends on which class you've taken. As you can see here, Warrior gets a standard longsword as starting equipment. This is actually the fourth character I've created to show you how this shit works. And yeah, I'm pretty familiar with it right now, so I'm blazing through it. And you keep going and you eventually meet some deadbeat who gives you your first Estus flask, which is essentially your healing item. How much Estus is in it depends on whether or not you've kindled the bonfire you're at. So, how far you push into the game each time depends on how much Estus you can hold in your Estus flask, and how good you are to avoid taking damage so you don't have to use it. And after a few minutes, it's finally time to take on the boss. They added this really new cool feature in called a plunging attack. This would have made things a lot easier for some bosses. Bullseye! Oh! Check that, half his life in one shot. Damn. Here's the thing about Dark Souls and Demon Souls that always puzzled me. See, in other games like Devil May Cry, God of War, they give you mechanics to believe that your little guy can take on monsters twice the size of him or 10 times the size of him. But here in Dark Souls and Demon Souls, we're just kind of meant to believe we can kill them by stabbing them repeatedly in the shins. So once you've done that, and after a bit of a jog, you're kidnapped by this giant bird and taken to the starting area in the kingdom called Lordran. Now this starting area is called Firelink Shrine, and you can wander off in pretty much any direction from here. Which reminds me about one of the game's cooler points. Even the creative director himself said, that everywhere you can see, you can go. You know, there's no useless architecture in this game. If you can see a place, guaranteed there's some way to get to it. You might not always be able to get there immediately, but it's always there, and I kinda like that. From this point on, you're pretty much free to do as you want. You can head in any direction from here, and there's like about 3 different directions you can go right from the start. You can head down towards Blighttown, or up towards the Undead Burg, or even through those ruins there into the catacombs. And then those places will branch off into other places, and so on. You can talk to the various characters here. This guy basically tells you what you need to do to get past the first major section. And there's another guy up here. You can buy your early miracles, which are one of the 3 schools of magic. There's sorcery, pyromancy, and miracles. This guy teaches you your basic miracles, and you can learn gestures from him too. But enough with the boring stuff, let's see some action. Most of the guys you fight will be more or less your size, like this guy here. I'm gonna parry and riposte. Bang! Oh yeah! That's a good way to get good damage against guys that are more or less your size. And of course it's the only way to fight if you plan on being a thief. Basically, don't fight fair. Parry, backstab, do whatever you can. The thief actually starts out with a nice little knife, which does extra damage, more than most other weapons actually, if you get a backstab or a nice parry in. But how about something a little bigger? A lot of the time in the game you'll come across enemies that aren't quite bosses, but they're a lot bigger and tougher than the standard enemies. This guy, for instance, depending on your character class, he can probably kill you in a single hit. Luckily he is slow and he telegraphs his attacks pretty badly. And also, I'm using a character with very high strength, so I can wield this gigantic sword I'm carrying at the moment. Trust me, he can feel every stroke. Okay, come on, one more hit should do it. Yep. Ah, there we go. Yeah, this guy is actually a lot tougher. Oh! Whoa, 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 oh, whew. Luckily that missed. I would be dead now. I'll just pick up my souls here. Yeah, in this game, whenever you die, you can get all the experience and stuff you lost if you can reach the place where you died. Oh! I guess I'll be coming back again. Here I'm going to take on one of the first very tough enemies you fight. And I'm going to do it with a little help from some tools here. Namely a firebomb. Because he's pretty tough and hard to fight if you aren't experienced in the game. Okay, here we go. Just heal myself quick first. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, jeez! Run, run, run! Ah! Okay, dude, take a joke. Come on, seriously. When you first encounter this guy, I can't see anyone having weapons powerful enough to actually hurt him. So you've really got to rely on backstabs to do any real damage to him. This went a lot quicker with my thief because I had that special dagger which does a lot of backstab damage. This mace that he's using right now doesn't really do that much damage even on a backstab. But still, I'm sure I can beat this guy. Maybe you've noticed that green bar underneath your health bar there. That's your stamina bar. In a lot of ways, that's what makes Dark Souls and Demon Souls really difficult. The second you launch a powerful attack or block a really hard strike from an enemy or do an evading roll, it drains your stamina quite a bit. And if you don't have any stamina left when an enemy launches a big attack on you, you won't be able to withstand it and you'll eat a lot of damage. So, particularly for the melee combat classes, managing your stamina bar becomes a really important part of the game, if you fancy surviving the fights with the big enemies. I mean, taking on two of these guys at once, would probably be suicide. Anyway, it's going well here. Luckily I know his attack patterns. I just watch out for that shield strike and that sword thrust, and that gives me enough time to get behind him. Oh yeah, killed him. Awesome. And here's my thief character walking around in Blight Town. I f***ing hate this place. Just poison and disease and everything everywhere. Really hard to go around here without getting killed. And this weird bug thing isn't as scary as it looks. Should give you some idea of the wide variety of enemies you can face in this game. But if you want some more examples, here you have these flat chameleon things, giant living statues, these weird crystal golem things, these electricity breathing drakes. These things are f***ing dangerous. Elder dragons that breathe poison. Some weird spider chick with her tits out. And of course a giant metal pig. You won't even believe the easiest way to beat this pig. I kid you not, just watch this. You basically sneak up behind it and literally shove your sword up its arse. I'm not kidding. I didn't make the game. And it's really not hard to do either, so once you know how to do this, all the fear of this guy disappears. I'm gonna jam my sword up his butthole! Oh yeah. Oh, looks like he left me some nice little helmet here. Hope that didn't come from his butthole. And one of the game's most interesting facets is that, while not a multiplayer game, you can summon the spirit of another player to help you with a particularly difficult bit. I was surprised I managed to get footage of this, since it seems to happen entirely at random whether or not there's someone available. And this guy decided to try and help me take out this boss. It didn't go well for him. That's all I can say. It didn't go well for him. But he tried. Another thing you can do, which this bastard did to me when I least needed it, is invade the game of another player and attempt to kill them, to steal their experience and their humanity, and maybe their weapon. So this prick decided to invade my game. Of course he didn't realize who he was dealing with. Yeah, take that. What the hell is he wearing anyway? Oh! Jeez! And what the heck is that weapon he's holding? F*** me, look at the size of that thing. Of course, you have to be a little faster than that if you want to hit me, dude. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what you get. Bitch. Oh, humanity, by the way, is what you use to turn between undead and living form. I probably should have mentioned that, huh? Well, there's a few subtle differences between the game when you're in undead and living form. But if you're interested, you can probably find out for yourself what the real differences are. And we're going to end this with a fashion show from my thief, Artemis. Here she is in her standard thief gear. It's not very strong, but it's very light and makes her very agile. Very good for sneaking around and getting backstabs. Come on, show us you mean business. Yeah. Here is the standard armor of the brigand. Come on, give us a cheer. Yeah! Oh! Oh! And this thing, I don't even know what the heck this is, but hey, it's pretty cool. Give us a bow. Very nice. Here's some standard leather armor, which I just found lying around somewhere. Looks pretty cool, I think. Didn't have a helmet to go with it, though, for some reason. Some armor of my dead firekeeper. Some enemy armor. More enemy armor. Some of the strongest enemy armor. This you get off those guys who show up near the end of the undead parish. They can be a real problem if you want to parry and go for ripostes or backstabs. And finally, the last armor I found, the Elite Knight armor. And that's it from me on this one. Have fun, guys.